Guys, what's going on? It's your boy Ryan. I'm coming back in with another video for you awesome people. But before we start this video, I wanted to let you know that this video is part of a new series that I'm going to start, and I've always wanted to start, honestly, and that's going to be flipping PCs till I reach 10K. Now, of course, this may extend in the future, who knows, because I do want to eventually buy a house and have a really big down payment for it, or maybe even buy a used car. I'm not really sure yet, but I will get a house no matter what. I'm definitely devoted on getting a house, but regardless, guys, I'm creating a new series. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome, and there's going to be lots of journeys and lots of adventures and lots of trouble, but also lots of fun. So the name of the series is going to be called Flip Till 10. Flip till 10. That means I'm going to be flipping PCs till I reach 10K. Yeah, any PC video that you see come out for the most part is going to be part of that series. There may be some new builds from time to time, who knows, but a lot of the PC builds are going to be PC flips, as you probably know good and well on this channel. And so yeah, they're going to be part of that new series. So if you ever see F210, Flip Till 10, that's what it stands for. That's the new series. I hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, let's get back into our video. Yo guys, what is going on? It's your boy Ryan. We're coming back in with another video for you guys, and in today's video we got a desktop PC right here, a pre-build actually. And believe it or not, this is actually a Fractal design PC case. Hopefully you can see that here in the front. Yeah, I was able to pick this up off of eBay for 50, or not 50, that would have been a crazy deal. $150, guys. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about just what we're going to do with this thing right here. And we're going to turn it into something really cool, and I cannot wait to show you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into this video, y'all. Roll it! Alright guys, we're going to talk about what came in this PC. So starting out with the CPU, this came with an i5-9400 Intel processor. This is a 6-core, 6-thread processor. I believe it was clocked at like 2.9 gigahertz, if memory serves me correctly. Kind of a lower end chip, but definitely still usable, as you'll see later on in the video. This also came with 8 gigabytes of RAM in the form of two 4 gigabyte sticks by Corsair Vengeance to be exact. I want to say the RAM was clocked around 2400 megahertz, although I can't quite remember at the time of editing this video, but it was somewhere in that neighborhood. This also came with a 240 gigabyte SSD in the form factor of NVMe, except it wasn't the traditional NVMe. It was, I believe it's called NGFF. Sorry if I have that wrong, but it's the one where it has a slot on each end rather than just one, or sorry, not a slot, but rather a notch. So yeah, that's what it came with, was a 240 gig SSD with that weird kind of, I guess, type. But yeah, anyways, before I forget guys, I also added a 1 terabyte mechanical hard drive. I got this for $15 off of eBay, so altogether 1.25 terabytes. A B365M motherboard, gigabyte. But yeah guys, that's what came with this, and as well as the power supply. I almost forgot. This did come with a 550 watt modular, believe it or not, semi-modular power supply, CX series from Corsair. It did actually include the cables, which was very nice, like extra cables I should say. So yeah guys, all in all for $150, of course there was shipping involved, but I mean again guys, $150, this was not too bad of a deal, I'll be honest. Definitely some decent components that came with this at that price point. So yeah, this is what we'll be working with, and then we're obviously going to add some extra components to this build, but so far this is what we have. And speaking of components that we're going to be adding to this build, as you can see here in these clips, we're going to be utilizing an ID Cooling SE214 XT ARGB CPU cooler. That is a mouthful, guys. That's what we're going to be using to cool the CPU down. Now, is this overkill? Absolutely. Again, this type of stuff right here, guys, is an example of why, like, ARGB or RGB cells, guys. This is strictly just for aesthetics, to be truly honest. We could have kept the stock CPU cooler on there, maybe saved a few bucks, but honestly, this is kind of helped tie the build together just a little bit more. So yeah, this is the CPU cooler we're going to be rocking with, and we were able to pick this up, I believe, for around $18 at the time, and that's actually not a bad deal. Alright guys, and for the next components that we bought for this PC flip is some RAM. So as you may know, this build came with 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is just not going to cut it in today's world of gaming. and productivity, if you will. So we're going to be upping that from 8 to 16 by buying 2 extra 4GB sticks for a grand total of 16GB in total for this system. It was Corsair Vengeance. To match what we have, the RAM speed was a little different compared to what we had existing, but altogether it came together well, 16GB, and I think that'll well outweigh the 8GB that we had before, regardless of the RAM speed. And to be honest with you guys, Intel processors don't rely heavily on RAM speed like AMD processors do, excuse me, so yeah, this is going to be a great overall upgrade at 16GB, and it's going to look great in the build with all the RAM slots filled, and it's going to look very clean. And to help in the department of aesthetics, we're going to be using some power supply extension cables. As you can see here, we got some kind of like sky light blue ones. Blue is my favorite color, if you guys can't tell. A lot of this channel is themed around the color blue. I'm a sucker for blue, love the color, and this color looks absolutely outstanding. The video does it zero justice. This color looks awesome, it pops. Anyways guys, this is what we're using for some aesthetics, some Asia Horse cables. As you can see here, I was kind of struggling putting these on. I typically always do, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is what we're using for some aesthetics, and I think it's going to look great once it's all said and done. Alright guys, and last but definitely not least, we got our graphics card right here. This is an Asus TUF Gaming GTX 1650 Super. Now, I know what some of you may be saying already in the comments right now. Bro, why are you pairing this graphics card, such low-end graphics card, with an i5-9400? Well, to be honest with you guys, I got it at a great deal. I was able to pick up this graphics card for just around, I want to say it was $60 off of eBay. It was around $60, $65. I thought that was a pretty smoking deal for a pretty decent looking graphics card. It's not too flashy, but it's also not too boring. 1650 Super, not a terrible graphics card, not the best, but it's good for really cheap budget builds and just kind of lower end budget builds, if you will. With that, paired with that i5-9400, I think it's a great pairing. Definitely not going to have any bottlenecking as far as I can tell, just on paper that is, and I think this is going to be a great pair with this build, as you'll see later in the benchmarks. Alright guys, and so the first game we're hopping into here is Call of Duty Warzone, and this was on a balanced preset, so pretty much all low settings for the most part. Might be a mix of normal in there too, but mostly low for this kind of budget build that we have here. And as you can see here in the gameplay and some of these clips, we were getting around 60 FPS most of the time, with a couple of dips into the low 55s. But yeah, definitely not too bad of an experience. I mean, for me personally, I'd want a little bit higher than 60, but then again, you got to set your standards, you know, for the price of the hardware that you're using. So yeah, I think 60 FPS for this build is definitely not too shabby on Warzone, especially considering this is a pretty demanding title. And I also wanted to add that the CPU and the GPU utilization was actually not bad. Surprisingly, the GPU was being used 100%. That's not the surprising part. The surprising part to me was this processor still had a little bit more headroom. It was almost maxed out, but not quite. We got about maybe 80% most of the time, 75, somewhere in that range. So you could maybe use a slightly more powerful graphics card and maybe get away with it. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely, you know, pretty impressive for the specs that we got, guys. Hi guys, and in Fortnite, we ran the performance mode, the performance API mode that is, so not DirectX 12 or 11, we went straight to performance mode with this build right here. I think this is appropriate given the hardware. Basically all low settings and far view distance to get the maximum FPS and performance out of this gaming PC. So as you can see here in some of these clips, we were dipping into the 170s, 160s for FPS, and sometimes it gets as high as 200, so definitely not too bad for the hardware that we have in here. Again, this is kind of a budget PC build, guys, and the fact that we're able to get over 160 FPS most of the time on an esport title like Fortnite, definitely pretty impressive. Alright guys, and on to our next game here, we have CS2, and as you can see here, we're getting about 140 FPS most of the time, with a couple of dips into the 120s. Definitely not bad considering we're on all high settings. Definitely pretty respectable for a 1650 Super and the i5-9400. I think it's holding up pretty well, especially in these esports titles. I'd love to see this kind of performance out of these builds. It just goes to show that, you know, you don't necessarily have to get the biggest and baddest hardware, the biggest and baddest PC to game. You can always start out small and work your way up. And that's just the great thing and the great beauty about PC building, honestly, guys. And yeah, I love to see this kind of performance. This is awesome to see, and definitely acceptable, I would say, for the hardware that we have and the price that everything costed. Alright guys, and what's a benchmarking video without some good old Halo Infinite gameplay here? So as you can see here, we got our game loaded in at low settings, of course, because this is kind of all budget hardware. So running at low settings, and looks like we're getting around 70 FPS most of the time. Couple dips into the low 60s, but actually, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this really is impressive to be honest. Because this is kind of a hard to run title, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even with like my RTX 3060 build that I have, my personal PC, I get around 130 to 140 FPS. So yeah, I mean, seeing this kind of performance out of a real budget PC, definitely not bad. And again, guys, you can upgrade this thing in the future and get even some more performance out of it. So love to see the performance out of this on a, I would say, AAA title like Halo Infinite. This is definitely more demanding. And again, really cool to see this kind of performance out of this kind of budget PC build. Alright, and we did run the 3D Mark benchmark. In this case, it's the Steel Nomad Light test, and it looks like we got a final score of 3,946. Definitely not too bad, not the greatest, not the best in the world. And again, this is kind of a new test, guys. Typically, Time Spy is the test everybody runs, but this is kind of the new thing that's going on. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do with a lot of PCs, as you've probably seen in some of the newest videos. But yeah, that's what it scored on the Steel Nomad Light test. Alright, so this is what the PC was capable of, guys. You saw those benchmarks, you kind of saw the numbers and the statistics that we got with this PC. I think overall this was not a bad PC, considering I built this PC for under $350. I actually built this PC for $335 to be exact, guys. I did not talk about this case, by the way. That is my apologies. This is a Montech Air 100 ARGB case with 4 pre-installed ARGB fans. Again, my apologies, I didn't touch on this, but this is the case that was used, and I think the aesthetics overall look really great with that light blue. It pops really nice, looks really good with that CPU cooler as well as those cable extensions. Looks freaking awesome, guys. And yeah, this PC turned out really well, not only both with performance but aesthetics. I think it looks and did great. As you saw in those benchmarks, we did get some pretty respectable performance. You know, bear in mind this is budget hardware, this is a budget PC build, but I think overall this turned out pretty nice for the money that we spent. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this PC build. Let me know if there's something you would have done different at a $350 budget. Now granted, I could have spent maybe a little bit more money and maybe got a 1660 if I deal hunted, but I just couldn't pass up the 1650 Super, guys. It looked freaking awesome, and it paired pretty decently with this processor. Honestly, I was kind of surprised. This processor did pretty well, and as you saw in some of those clips, we possibly could have put a slightly more powerful one in. We still had a little bit more headroom, but yeah, guys, definitely all in all, not bad for what we spent on this PC that we picked up from eBay for $150 and just added a couple more components for a grand total of under $350. I think this is an awesome PC, but you let me know what you think in the comments down below of this build and what you thought of the performance. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, your thoughts and opinions and even suggestions. Leave them down in the comments below. If you liked this video, smash that like button for your boy, drop a like, and if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the family. What are you doing? If you enjoy this content, subscribe to your boy. I'd love to have you part of the fam. And speaking part of the family, guys, I do have a Discord server now. If you'd like to join that Discord server, please go to the description in the video down below. You will see the link for the Discord. Come join. There's behind the scenes stuff sometimes. I talk to a couple of buddies, both on YouTube and in real life, and also sometimes I post some goofy stuff on there. But yeah, guys, come join the family. I'd love to have you. I really appreciate each and every one of you for watching this video. I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. My name is Rye. Peace.